So Dehancer reached out to me and asked if I would want to make a review video for their color grading plugin that emulates film, and of course I said yes, so that's what we're going to be doing in this video. Now I'm not going to be going super in depth into like every slider and effect because there's tons of videos out there that do that. Also, they have an iOS app for your iPhone or iPad, so everything you see in the Resolve plugin is also in the app with all the film profiles and everything if you want your iPhone photos to look cinematic. So if you're interested in that, check that out. It's pretty cool. Anyways, let's get into some Dehancer coloring and Resolve. So here's our shot, and this is our Rec 709, and we're about to take this to another level. Okay, let's disable that and add our Dehancer plugin. Okay, and it's already starting to look really good. Just kidding. So the cool thing about Dehancer is that it's a plugin, so you don't have to use any of the Resolve coloring tools because everything happens in the effects tab. Okay, so what I've been starting to do is I press Shift F and I can make the viewing much bigger. Okay, so I can see more of what I'm grading because I can just adjust everything all on the side right here. Okay, and then what we're gonna do here is hold down Alt and click on that, and that's gonna close all the drop down menus. So let's start at the very top with the input and choose our camera. So this was shot on Sony FX30 and S-Gamut3.Cine. So you can see it's starting to get there. And then down here we have exposure, and there's two ways to adjust exposure. So there's one in the input menu, and then there's one in the print menu, and they both act a little bit differently. Okay, back to the input, you have your temp and tint. The next drop down is the film profile. So this is going to be the main look of your image, and there's 63 profiles, I believe. So lots of options, and a lot of them are good. I'm going to show you guys a couple of them real quick. So we got 200T. Obviously we need to still add our contrast, but we got your black and white. You have Fuji color. You got Cinestill 800T. So yeah, tons of options. And for this one, I found this one that I feel like looks pretty good, and it's the Konica Impressa. I'm gonna use that one because also everybody uses the Kodaks. We're gonna try something different. And then you have push and pull right here. That's good to mess with too. Once you've have your contrast levels and everything adjusted, we'll probably play with that later. Next, let's go pick our print. So we have the Fujifilm, Kodak 2383, and Kodak Glossy, which I'm really liking the softer look, but I know a lot of people like the 2383. But for this one, we use the Glossy. So again, you have the second way to adjust your exposure. You got tonal contrast, which looks like we need some of that right now. 7 looks good. And then I'm gonna come back up here and bring up the exposure a little bit. I would say the top exposure is more like a gain almost, like from the color wheels. And then the print exposure is more like an offset or gamma. It's more like soft when it raises up everything. You also have color density, which is a character of film. The colors are very dense when you shoot on film. That's a cool feature. We'll use some of that, put it at 17. Next, you have your film developer, and we're gonna enable it. The color boost is basically your saturation. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of that. Let's do 24, and then you also have another contrast slider. I don't use these three, I just use the color boost. Then you have film compression, which is the highlights. When you shoot on film, you get really creamy highlights. That's what the film compression is, which I always turn that on. You got the impact, tonal range, and color density, which doesn't look like it's doing anything. You got white point. Most of the time I just turn it on and leave it. I don't really have to adjust it, so that's nice. Color head, it's pretty much your primary wheels. So if you enable it, you got yellow, blue, you can shift the overall hue of your image. But then you have your highlights, warm, cool, midtones, shadows. After that is film grain, which obviously we all like a good film grain, and Dehancer's film grain is actually really good, okay? So I usually do custom, but you do have all these presets, 35mm, 60mm, 8mm, but I do custom. And then I usually drop the chroma noise down, size down, and then the amount I put at like 20, and that's pretty much it there. Next, you got halation. We'll enable it and come down here And same thing for here, I do custom. So I will, if we bring this up, you can see around my shirt. But again, we want to keep things subtle here. Subtlety is always better than a lot. And also, this isn't really a good shot for halation. On our second shot, I'll show you guys more of the halation. And then you have your bloom, which you just seen right there. It just softened up my whole face right there. Makes me look gorgeous. You can go for that dreamy look if you want, but we'll keep things nice and simple. And that's pretty much it. Like all this other stuff, film damage, film breath, gate weave, overscan, I don't use any of it. Right now, I'm just trying to get those film-like colors. And then also back to the push and pull, you can see. Oh yeah, one more thing, you have the expand, which is the black and white point. If you feel like your blacks are too lifted, then you can darken them a little bit. But yeah, it goes pretty quick, okay? So let's do another shot. So this shot has more like dynamic range in it. Bright sunset sky with some shadows. So we'll be able to see like the halation on this one. So let's drag and drop, Shift F, and choose the camera, Sony, FX30, S-Cam at 3, open up the film. This time let's do Cinestill 800T. Open up the film developer, enable it, bring up the color boost to 52, film compression, turn it on. Look at that, soft highlights, looking beautiful. The print, let's do Kodak and do our glossy, and then maybe turn up the tonal contrast a little bit. So barely adding a little bit of contrast. Let's do some color density, just a little bit. Film grain, custom, chroma, size down, 20, and then halation, and look at that right there. Bang, okay, you got the halation coming in. Looks really nice. You can increase it like that. Obviously that's too much, or you could do that too. Brother, don't be like that. Bloom, let's turn that on. There you go, look at that. Oh yeah, baby, it's too much. Okay. Turned up right there. All right, just has a little bit of extra flare. And then I will warm this up a little bit since it was a sunset shot. Okay, there you go, done. Okay, just like that. I think this image looks amazing, and that is the power of Dehancer.
More saving, more doing. That's the power of the home.
So what's gonna hold you back from buying Dehancer is the price, because it's $450. Because other than the price, I don't really see anything else that I don't like about the plugin. And I'm not just saying that because they're letting me use it, but because it really is good. I really like all the film profiles they give you, because you're not just limited to one look, but you have all these looks, these film profiles that look really good. And I know Dehancer worked really hard on making them look good. And maybe that's why it's a little bit more pricey, because they're giving you all of these film stocks. But anyways, if you are considering buying it, they did give me a 10% discount code for you guys, and that's in the description below. And thank you, Dehancer, for letting me do this, and I will see you guys later.